This is what I call Monday morning with the kids. Kids are ready, lunches are packed. I'm calm, hydrated, completely in control of the situation. Now, what's my strategy, you may ask? Well, I call it the white knuckle approach. And that's basically when the day just sorts itself out. And it works every single time. Then I learned about anchors. Small moments I drop into my day on purpose before chaos really starts to build up. Maybe 10 minutes before the kids wake up, 5 minutes outside at lunch, stopping work for what's called a human hour. Putting the phone down before bed. Nothing dramatic. It's just time devoted towards you. So let me ask you a question. If a storm can overpower even a full tank of fuel on a ship, what keeps a ship stable? Is it power or is it the anchors to a ship? So that ship that you just saw, the ship isn't trying to stop the storm. It's simply just trying to stop the drift. And that's the important thing that we're going to be talking about today, because most people think that the goal is to eliminate stress completely, to get rid of the chaos that we go through on a day-to-day basis. You don't want any more hard days, no more pressure, not to feel overwhelmed. But that's not realistic. The storms in life are going to keep going. They're going to keep happening. And what you can control is whether you drift away from what matters the most while it's happening. And unfortunately, for myself, I learned this lesson the hard way. So back in the day, I thought, when I first opened up the clinic, I literally thought I was doing everything right because I was building this big clinic. So I wanted more patients. I wanted more staff. I wanted to build more sophisticated systems. I wanted more responsibility. So every day was about one thing: to grow, to achieve more, to get more things done. And I kept on telling myself the same thing. I was doing this for my family. I'm doing this because I care about my family, because I want to be able to give them a better quality of life. So now from the outside, it seemed like I had it all together. But the reality is that all the stress that I was going through was following me home every single night. And even when I walked through the doors of my house, I wasn't actually there. I was physically present, but mentally, my mind was still at work. I was still thinking about things like payroll. I was thinking about things like marketing. It got to the point where I was thinking about the problems that needed solving for the next day. Now, my body was home, but my mind it never left the clinic. And it got to the point where one day it built up, and my son could sense all of the stress that I had been going through. And what's interesting about kids is that they always feel it. So one night, my son was upset about something. I didn't know what, but he was upset and he was crying. So instead of me showing up as a father would, I tried to manage it. I tried to fix the emotion that he was in, so I tried to push him to get him to move on, because that's kind of what you do when you're always stuck in this work mode. So I felt like I wanted to solve the problem and then to kind of move on to the next thing. But he wasn't the problem that needed solving. He was just a little boy that was upset and he needed his dad. And then he said something to me. He looked at me and he said, "I hate you." And that hit me right in the chest, because I stood there for a second, not even knowing why he said that. I didn't even know how to comprehend it. I didn't know how to feel. So I stood there for a second, not knowing what to do. But then a little later, after things kind of settled, what he was really trying to say came out. He looked at me and he said, "Dad, I miss you." And something inside of me felt off. And I say felt off because I wasn't sure how to understand the polarizing difference between I hate you and I love you. Because right there, we were in the same house. We were in the same room. But my son missed me. It didn't make sense. Not the working version of me, not the stressed out, distracted, mentally checked out version of me. He missed his dad. And in that moment, I asked myself, the question that I couldn't shake off any longer. How many moments has me being stressed out been stealing from me, maybe to the point where I wasn't even aware of it? Not just that night. Every single night, every single dinner, every single bedtime, every moment I was physically there, but not actually present. That question changed everything. And now the truth is, that is what stress does when it goes unmanaged. It doesn't just take your energy. It takes your presence, and your presence is one thing that you cannot get back. You can make more money. You can rebuild a business. You can recover your health for the most part. But the moments your son needs you and you're not there, I want you to question that, because that moment is 100% gone. And most people carry this belief and they tell themselves that I just need to get through this moment. I need to get through the season, and then I'll focus on being more present. I'll focus on my family the moment that things start to calm down. The moment that the business becomes more stable, maybe when stress starts to settle a little bit more. But the truth is, as the seasons change, the stress is going to keep moving. And if you're waiting for that calm moments before you decide to show up, you will be waiting forever. So what I want to do now is break down what's actually happening in your body when stress follows you home. So just bear with me, okay? Your nervous system has a state called the sympathetic activation system. And this is your go mode. It's your producing mode. It's the mode that you get into when you're trying to solve problems, when you're trying to address any responsibilities that you have, when you have to keep things moving. And it's incredibly useful during the day, but it's not designed to be running all the time. So when you stay in the sympathetic activation state, okay, when you stay in this sympathetic activation state and you bring it into your evening, and your body never gets the signal that the day is ready to wrap up, your cortisol stays elevated. Your mind stays scanning for things and problems that it needs to solve, and your emotional availability completely drops to zero. And researchers call this the emotional depletion state. And this just basically means that your capacity for patience, for connection, for being present runs out after many hours of being switched on. And when that happens, the people that get the leftover version of you are never your friends at work. It's never your colleagues. It's never your boss. It's always your family. And it's unfortunate, but it's always the people that you love the most, your family, your close friends, that get the scrapped, barely put together version of you. So it's unfortunate that your family often gets the exhausted, short-tempered, checked out version of you. And it's not because you don't care. It's more because your nervous system never got the input. It never got that stimulation. It never got the signal that when you get home, it's time to relax. And this is why anchors matter. It's not about a productivity hack. It's not a wellness routine. It simply serves as a signal. It tells your body that this moment, your nervous system can now start to down-regulate. It can start to relax because the workday is officially done. So after that night with my son, I stopped waiting for these calm moments to come up throughout my day, and I started creating what's called anchor points, grounding points throughout my day, and they serve as small moments built throughout your day that pull you back into the present moment before you start drifting too far. So what I started doing throughout my day is putting in predictable checkpoints, predictable anchor points throughout my day where I ground myself so that I'm in the right state of mind before my day takes over. So there's the morning routine. I started doing a nighttime routine with my son to reconnect before he gets to bed. And it's nothing dramatic. It's nothing that takes hours. It's a small, reliable, but consistent moment in time that grounds your body. And what I discovered was that there wasn't a specific anchor point throughout my day. It wasn't the morning, the evening, the afternoon, or the nighttime anchor routine that gave me any specific power. It was about getting into the rhythm. It was about developing the habits and teaching my nervous system that it was safe, it was comfortable to get into this relaxed state. So it's interesting because when you think of a ship, ships survive storms because of anchors, not because they're working harder and using more energy and gas. Anchors do not remove the storm that they're going through. They stop you from drifting away in certain situations. All right, so the homework. And you guys, I gotta be honest, this is by far one of the most exciting things that I love to teach my clients. The homework that you have for today is called your personal anchor map. And I want you to look at your day in 4 windows. You have your morning, you have your middle, you have your evening, and then you have your night. And I want you to ask yourself one of the following questions. Where do I drift the most? Where do I lose myself throughout the day? Where does stress tend to pull me away from where I want to be? Because that is where your anchor belongs. Then you choose one anchor for tomorrow, not all 4. It's not a full routine. You're just going to pick one. In that one routine, you're going to do something small, nothing to stop you from thinking that it's too much. It's just a small, let's say, a self-care routine. Maybe it's a stretching routine. Let's just say, for example, you pick the morning anchor because that's where you stress the most. You look at your phone, you have kids, you have all these responsibilities with the kids, and you're in a rush to get to work. Devote 5 minutes to, let's say, the morning anchor. You're going to do a 5 minutes morning stretch before you get to the car. Maybe a walk after your lunch. Maybe a few minutes in the car before you walk into the house. Maybe it's a consistent bedtime routine with your kids, like I did, or maybe it's just a phone-free hour in the evening where you kind of start to pay attention to your body and you're not distracted. And I want you to write it down like this, once you've identified it. Tomorrow's anchor is going to be what? So tomorrow's anchor is going to be, because when that anchor holds, you're gonna feel a huge difference. And when you feel it, you're gonna want to build another and add another. And eventually you're gonna have 4 anchor points throughout your day. You're gonna have your morning, middle, evening, and nighttime routine. And that is the 4th homework that I want you to work on in this challenge. It's your personal anchor map. So I want you to take it to the community post. What is the anchor you're focusing on out of the 4? And tell us what causes you to drift. And what are you doing to put in place to prevent your body from drifting? And if, once again, if you need help one-on-one, I'm here to support. The link is somewhere down below. And I will see you in tomorrow's video where we're going to be covering the final day. And I'm going to be showing you how everything we have covered this week fits into one simple plan. Your gray zone states, your feel-good floor, your anchor maps, all of it comes together into something that you can actually use. And I will see you in tomorrow's video.